guess what? I'm not going to the club. I'm going to stay at home and play Black Ops 6 and watch a little YouTube because I get more enjoyment out of doing that than going somewhere and partying with strangers. At every party and at every social event I've ever gone to, I see people literally passing around bottles like hot potato. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I saw this video and I saw on Twitter where they said Gen Z, my generation, doesn't go out as much and we don't drink as much as millennials and whatever generation came before that. And honestly, bro, when I saw this, I immediately just thought, cap.
Stop the cap.
And everybody I know really be partying, or everybody I know has probably ingested a few drinks as well. But then I started to think about it. Most of them times that we was partying and people were drinking and stuff like that happened when we were freshmen. And I've noticed as we've gotten older, a lot of us have strayed away from that activity. And surprisingly and conveniently enough, me and my friend actually just had a conversation about this on why we don't party and why they don't drink anymore. And the biggest reason for it is it's boring. I know y'all have all seen them memes where it's like people standing around the club, everybody's on their phone, nobody's dancing, people not really doing stuff. And honestly, that's real. That does happen. I've definitely been to parties and I've definitely been to clubs where I literally just see everybody on their phone the whole time. I won't say like the whole time, but they definitely spent a good bit on their phone, or there's like wall huggers who literally just sit there and do nothing. To be fair, I was not there whenever people were partying back in the 80s because I wasn't here yet. But from what I've seen and a few films I've seen, it seems like a lot of the energy back then was a lot more pure, more genuine. People look like they are genuinely there to have a good time. And honestly, bro, whenever I go to parties or a club now, I really feel like most of the people there are mainly there trying to look cool and impress people with like the fit they got on or something. It doesn't seem like people are actually there to have fun. Like, bro, I kid you not, I went to a club and there was literally nobody dancing, not one person. The most you saw was people on the corner in the wall on their sections doing this. And this was my 21st birthday, by the way. But I was like, I don't understand why anybody would want to do this. And that wasn't my first time going to a club, allegedly. But at the same time, it was really that turning point in my mind where I was like, I don't think I'm really that interested in doing anything like this anymore. Because ultimately, I just kind of saw it as a waste of time. Like I said, I did this on my 21st birthday, you know, turn 21, go to the club, do things you ain't been able to do before. But after this day in the club, we went out to eat at a restaurant. And I would be lying to you if I said we didn't have more fun at the restaurant. That type of stuff was a lot more fun than just sitting at a place looking around at everybody just trying to be cool. Because when I go to a party, bro, I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to just have fun, listen to the music, vibe out, which is what you should do. And it's what it looks like people kind of did back in the day. Now, I do want to clarify that I feel like parties, like college parties, high school parties, and like the more grown club scene is a lot different. Because like when you get into that like 25-year-old to 30-year-old type of clubs, it seems like that's what they really be on. A lot of them people are not trying to dance. A lot of them people not trying to just have fun. A lot of them people look like they are strictly there to be in some sort of fashion show or act like they're a little baby or something. And I ain't gonna lie, in my perspective, I was not vibing with it at all. But I ain't gonna lie, to speak more on those college parties, them college parties was fun. And I ain't gonna lie, people say people be on their phone, but honestly, a lot of the time in the college parties, I don't really see that happen too much. I don't kid yourself. It's definitely your fair share of wall huggers, people on their phone, people trying to look cool, just like in the club. But there is also a lot of people who are just on the dance floor, dancing, having fun, doing things in the party that they should be doing. And I never really was a big partier. I've been to parties, but I'm not like a person who's looking for the next function to go to. But I will say at these parties I went to, I definitely enjoyed myself. And when I went to the club, that was the first time I really went to like a event and didn't really enjoy myself. And that was pretty much at all my experiences in the club. I just don't really find standing in one place acting like I'm important to be fun. Don't get me wrong, I get the appeal. I take that back, because just like I told my mom after this night out, I feel like this is ultimately just a waste of time, because I paid to get in this club and listen to music with the people that I already came in here with, when I could have stayed at home and we could have listened to music in my room or something for free, and I probably would have had a better time. I feel like the main reason, at least for dudes, that they go to parties is to like shark. Obviously that's not true in every situation, but I feel like every single time that I've gone to a party, I feel like every dude dude I'm going with is definitely like, oh yeah, when they see me in this, I'm hollering at everything today. Like, I ain't never seen a dude be like, man, I can't wait to go to this party and just dance with the bros and just have a whole jolly time. I just really ain't had that experience. And if you are a person who goes to the party to shark, I'm not saying there's really nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, I feel like out of parties, you're mostly going to find just a whole bunch of meaningless relationships. Now, some people have found their wife or partner in the club. That's so they say. But I have never seen this happen. I have never, ever, not one of my friends, nobody in my family, I have never heard somebody say they went to a party, a college party or a club and literally met their wife. Usually they trying to find some promiscuous girl so they can have a good story to tell. Like I said, me and my friend, we had talked about this and we honestly came to the conclusion that once you've gone to one party, you've pretty much been to all of them. Because bro, it literally be the same thing every time. They play the same songs and even the same people be there. And we were able to identify really quickly that, oh, this might be a trap. Now, again, if you're a person who just enjoys being there, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to be going there just because I think that's what I'm supposed to do as a young person. If I don't like going to the club, I don't like going to the parties, guess what? I'm not going to the club. I'm gonna stay at home and play Black Ops 6 and watch a little YouTube because I get more enjoyment out of doing that than going somewhere and partying with strangers. It's even like that argument about dudes when they're young, they supposed to get a whole bunch of girls. Bro, I have had way more fun just talking and dating my girlfriend than I ever had trying to be a player. Bro, that stuff is like for the bird. And you will get a lot more meaning and satisfaction off of doing stuff that genuinely benefits you, like emotionally and, well, I guess it could be no other way but emotionally, but you get the point. If the club is something that genuinely makes you happy for some reason, then hey, do that. Who am I to tell you not to do something that makes you happy? But I'm just speaking from my experience because I want y'all to remember I can always speak from my experience and my opinion. That's why I stopped going to these types of events. Now, as far as the drinking thing, I ain't gonna lie, there's no way this could be true because honestly, at every party and at every social event I've ever gone to, I see people literally passing around bottles like hot potato. I saw on Twitter that they said they feel like the decrease in drinking comes directly from a decrease in social events. And I am telling you right now, that is not true. Because if you go to a social event, you are going to see 85% of the people there drinking. Bro, I remember one time I went to this party, and I don't drink, by the way, but I literally got offered to drink probably 10 plus times. I literally declined every attempt to get me to drink, but I promise you, every other person there was drinking and they got the same offers that I did. So I just don't really think this is true. Now, in a sense of like recreational drinking, like drinking when you're just at home, I don't see a lot of my friends do that. And mostly because I feel like they've gone to their like Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg vibe. I don't really feel like this is that much of a bad thing most of the time because I feel like when people drink, they are more inclined to make really stupid decisions. And when people inhale those other toxic fumes, most of the time they really be chilled and might just get so paranoid that they leave the function that they're at. Now, I'm not saying that the other substance is the answer to all our problems, but if you were to tell me I had a kid and he had to be addicted to one of these substances, I definitely would pick the other one. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, they're both bad and I really can't promote either one of them, but at the same time, you really can't argue with facts, bro. Nobody's OD from one. There has been several people who have unalived from the other one. Stats don't lie, bro. Stats do not lie. Just to insert a little of my own experience too, the reason I don't drink is because when I was growing up, I saw a lot of people around me drinking and I honestly didn't like the fact that it seemed like no matter what event we were at, what we were doing, people wanted to find a way to get drinks involved. As I kept growing, I just felt like it might be some type of trap. Like, why can we not eat without drinking? Why when you watch a movie, you want to drink? Why when you're sitting down at home, you want to drink before you go to bed? These are just things that I was seeing and things that just ultimately made me never want to really touch it. Or if I ever do drink in the future, never get to that point. Because honestly, it always scared me. And I ain't gonna lie, even though I said the other substance was better, I definitely feel like there's a lot more people who have kind of become dependent on that too, in a similar way. Because I've talked to people who literally say they can't eat, they can't sleep, they can't even go about life without having it. And honestly, at that point, I feel like you should really know that you have a problem. And I'm not trying to come for nobody, but I'm just saying sometimes you just gotta look at the signs and see things for what they are. Anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the drinking and going out thing. Like I said, I really don't think that that's true. Maybe the party thing has some truth to it as people aren't going out. I feel like I'm a little jaded because I live in a party town, because there's literally nothing to do out here but party and shoot each other. At least that's what people act like. So I feel like people party down here a lot more, but it might not be that way in other cities. What's your opinion on that? Drop it down in the comment section. And look, like the video, twin.
Bye.